Well, hello there. This is Tanya Poole here to welcome you to episode number 2 of the Summer Alchemy 2017 series. I'm so glad that you're here with me and we're about to learn and transform and grow together. So for those of you who this is your first time watching any of the alchemy series, the seasonal alchemy series, alchemy basically is a big, nice, fancy word for transformation. It's all about transforming something that is less than perfect or not at its highest self or has a few impurities and transforming it into something more perfect and more magnificent and more wonderful and all of those wonderful things. And so historically, alchemists have always worked to transform lead into gold. But there's also spiritual alchemy and personal alchemy where basically we are working to transform ourselves into greater and greater versions of who we are. And so we look at the seasons, like right now with it being summertime, we look at what is happening in nature, what is happening in the world, what is happening even astrologically, and see what the same energy that is going on to help transform each season. We can use that same energy to help us to transform into our better and higher selves. And sometimes transformation is like a little less than pleasant, right? Because you have to go within, you have to see the things that are working or not working, or maybe some of the things that you don't even want to face and to deal with. But in order to grow in life, we have to do that inner transformation and that inner work. And what better way to do that than working in sync with the seasons? So this is the second episode of Summer Alchemy. For those of you, some of you have been with me for a while. Back in the spring, we did Spring Alchemy, which was a series of videos that are currently online. But we also had a smaller group that participated in a series of workshops after the online videos. And so for summer, we're not doing the private group later because summertime, a lot of times people want a vacation and they just want to kind of, we're on break. A lot of people are on break. So, so I get it. So this Summer Alchemy is just the videos that you are seeing now. And then we'll pick up with the more intensive classes in the fall, right? So today, July 23rd, I believe it is, 2017, is like it's a power day. It's a very powerful day. And the reason why I say that is because for all of you Leos out there, you already know we're in your season, right? Leo the lion. And so we're in Leo season, but today the moon has actually also moved into the sign of Leo. And the moon actually changes signs every about 2.5 days. So whereas the sun changes signs every 30 days, like, right now we're in Leo and about 30 days from now we'll be in Virgo and 30 days after that it'll be in Libra. The moon actually changes its sign every 2.5 days. So the fact that the sun has entered into Leo and the moon is also in Leo, it's like they are kind of have aligned. Their energies have aligned. And the energy of Leo, when we look at it as far as summer is concerned, there are 3 signs in summer. And we talked about this in the first Summer Alchemy video, so make sure that you go and watch that. But the first sign in the summer season is Cancer, and then Leo, and then Virgo. And so with us moving into this Leo energy, Leo is the middle sign in between Cancer and Virgo, right? So it sits right in the middle. It's what we call a fixed sign. So it's not the sign that brought us into summer, and it's not the sign which will take us out of summer. It's the sign that sits dead center in the middle of our summer season. And so that makes it what we call a fixed sign. It's fixed. And when you think about how it feels in the middle of summer, like, is for some people don't like summertime because it's so hot, depending on where you are, right? It's like there's no relief from the heat. You're just right dead set. in the middle of the hottest time of the year. Some people really love summer. They love that heat. They love that fire energy that is going on around us. But whether you like it or not, you're in it. And so you got to learn how to work with it and make it work for you. And so when we think about summer and we think about the sign of Leo, the luminary body, every sign has a planet that governs it, and instead of having a planet, it has the sun. The sun is the body, the ruling body of the sign of Leo. And so that's to remind us that this is the time for us to really shine. This is the time where all of the things that about us that make us who we are, that make us where we can really shine, right? That's the best way to say it. Where we shine as individuals. That Leo energy really speaks to that part of who we are. And so with the sun being in Leo and the moon being in Leo, and the moon governs our emotions and how we feel. And so even our feelings right now might be maybe on 10 for some of y'all, but even how we feel and how we love and how we create and the things that we're passionate about right now, we are finding, many of us may be finding that we just want to shine. We want to, all the things that we've ever wanted to create and to be and to accomplish and to do and to, express right now is really just knocking on the door saying, hey, let me out, right? It's like right now we are wanting to shine. This is the time for us to really go into ourselves and say, what parts of me do I really like? What things do I want to create that are my creations, that really, if somebody were to see that creation, they would say, yeah, I know that was you because it had your name written all over it, right? That is what this time of year is all about. With that sun, with that powerful Leo energy that's going on. And so whether you're a Leo or not, we all carry some form of that fire energy within us, where even the most introverted, most quiet person has some part of them that shines, has some part of them that really is illuminated, that really kind of speaks for them even when they're not speaking. So that is the time that we're in, and that is the energy that is going on right now. What is also very interesting about the sun is that, historically, centuries ago, there were people who believed that the sun rotated around the earth because of that illusion. When you look up at the sun in the daytime, in the early morning, and then you go and look at it again in the evening, and it really looks like it has gone all the way across the sky and is setting, right? So it appears to be rising in the morning and setting in the evening. And we know that really that is an illusion, that really it is the earth that is revolving around the sun. And so how does that relate to summer alchemy? Well, when you think about it, our inner light, the thing that makes us who we are, and the light that we as individuals shine on our world, on our community, on our loved ones, that light, sometimes it seems like we're chasing it, right? It looks like sometimes we shine, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we love ourselves, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're creative. Sometimes we feel like we're in a creative slump. Sometimes we're really passionate and fiery and loving life. And sometimes it's just like, nothing interests us. Nothing moves us. We feel unmotivated and feel no passion. And that it speaks to that same illusion that we're chasing the sun. We're chasing our own light. We're chasing our own passion. We're chasing the thing that motivates us. When really the reality is just like it's really the earth that is revolving around the sun. So the sun is actually more fixed than it appears. It's more stable than it appears. Likewise, our own light is not necessarily something that we have to chase after and we have to run after and we have to find and search for. It's actually always within us. It's just sometimes we acknowledge it and sometimes we don't. You know, sometimes it seems like it's shining bright like the midday sun, and sometimes it seems like it's dark and nighttime and we can't find any good or any passion or any love or any creativity. And so this time of year, right now in the middle of summer, is reminding us to not find our own light, but to acknowledge, that's it, to acknowledge and be aware of our own light, our own energy, the good that is within us, the beauty that's within us, the passion that's within us, the fire that's within us, that we then share with the world. And so, what else do I want to talk about? I'm looking down at my notes. So, oh yeah. So if you were with me for Spring Alchemy, you would remember that I had mentioned one of my favorite quotes from the late Jim Rohn, motivational speaker and entrepreneur and teacher. And he said, we have to get good at planting in the spring or be prepared to beg in the fall. Okay, I'm going to say that again. We have to get good at planting in the spring or get good at begging in the fall. And so basically the seeds that we plant, whether they're literal seeds of plants in the garden that we will harvest later in the year to eat, or the ideas that we implement and our creations that we start and the relationships that we work to build, if we do that work in the forefront of things, then later on we will begin to reap the harvest of those things. And so that was in the springtime. And so now with us being in the summer, it's still a good time to plant in the summer, right? So there's still farmers who are and gardeners who are still putting certain kinds of seeds in the ground that are meant to go in the ground during this time of the year. But with this also being the time when a lot of people like to go on break, it's so hot, you know, we want to just chill. The heat drains us. It feels like it's taking our energy, that we may forget to do the work that we need to do. We might actually slack off and then not have the results that we want for our lives later on in the year. And so there is actually a scripture in the Bible that talks about the ant. And it asks us to actually to observe the ant, A-N-T. Those little annoying things that come out, especially at this time of year. And if you've ever dealt with ants, like this is the time of year where they like to come in the house and stuff, and they are freaking relentless. You know, it's like every time you think you've gotten rid of them, here they come again, here they come again. But this particular scripture actually asks us to look at the ant and to learn from them. And it says in Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 8, it says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provides her meat in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest." So it's telling us that during this time where we may be tempted to succumb to the heat and be lazy, become sluggards, become lazy and slow moving, that this is actually the time that heat is telling us, actually, this is the time to keep our energy high. You know, again, this season, Leo is ruled by the sun. You know, there's so much, if you think about the sun, there's so much energy and light and vitamins and minerals and everything good that comes from the sun that keeps us alive. We need the sun to live. And so if we look at the ant doesn't slow down its pace during this time of year. It actually works harder. It's actually doing a lot more work now so that by late summer and fall, it has what it needs to survive through the rest of the year. And that's what we need to be doing. Instead of If there's a diet that you started and you've slacked off, if there's a project, a creative idea that you started and you slacked off, if you started off trying to rebuild or build a good relationship with your parents or your children and it's kind of fallen off by the wayside, or like a lot of students, they started off doing well in school and now it's summertime and they're just kind of slacking off and not reading and not practicing their math anymore. If that's what you're finding yourself doing, then this is your push and your reminder that this is not the time to really slack off. Even if you're vacationing, this is not really the time to fully slack off, but this is the time to continue to give that passionate and loving energy to all of the areas in which you want to shine. And trust me, it will definitely pay off in the end, later in the year. So that's pretty much all that I wanted to say during this video. Hopefully I'll have another one up next week. And also next week I am working on an oil actually called Intuition, which helps us to really connect with our own intuitive selves. And it has a lot of beautiful things in it. If you follow me on Instagram, and I am at the Tanya Poole on Instagram, and also on Facebook I am Tanya Poole Enterprises. But if you follow me on any of those places, you've probably seen a few pictures of some products that I've been making. And I've been making one with a lot of beautiful jasmine in it, which jasmine, this beautiful flower, which blooms at nighttime during our highest intuitive time. I have been creating an oil using jasmine, and it's called Intuition, and hopefully it will be available for pre-order starting next week. That is my goal. That is my challenge. Have that ready, at least for pre-order, by next week. And which falls really in line with this new moon that we just entered into with Leo. And then going into August, we have actually a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse. So those are very powerful times, powerful energies that we will be experiencing, where we will need to be able to tap into our intuitive selves to really kind of see what's going on. And so I should have that available for pre-order next week. So make sure you stay tuned so that you can get yours. And I might have something else wonderful and special too. We'll see. And that is it. That is it. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe to this video, to my channel. And also make sure that you follow me on Instagram at the Tanya Poole. And on Facebook, I am facebook.com/Tanya Poole Enterprises. And you can always find me on my website, tanyapoole.com. I look forward to talking to you again. Much love, peace and love. Talk soon.